So, I mean, Bob Iger, basically, Trump did the executive order to, ban DEI. Now, obviously, he's not been able to ban DEI in the private sector. I think he's trying to do that. He's trying to figure out a way to do that, which, quite rightly so, it should be the case. It's reassuring that a lot of companies are following what he's saying. From the willingly. They're doing it just automatically because they realize that there is a cultural shift happening. But I do think that he should enforce it. I think he should figure out a way to do it. I mean,
raise the corporate tax on companies that do that.
DEI is corporate sanctioned racism and sexism. Yeah. That is all it is, and it shouldn't be allowed to go on. Right?
It's illegal.
Shouldn't have to have sort of civil court cases to bring companies into line. Like it's ridiculous. So I hope Trump can do that. Bring it back to a bit of a meritocracy in society. Remove this ridiculous grievance sort of politics from just everyday life and victimhood. It's just pathetic. Remove the chip from your shoulder. Just fucking work hard and get on with it. Right, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's the way it should be.
Feel like you've actually earned something, right? If I was black and I was in America, I would, not now currently, but a few years ago, if I was hired for a job, I'd feel ashamed. I'd feel dirty. I'd be like, well, was I hired because I'm good, or was I hired to fill a quota? Right? Yeah. Quotas which they freely admit are there. It's just get some common sense back in society. But anyway, I sort of digress. But look, a company that's not following in their footsteps is, of course, Disney. Disney has decided, no, we're not doing that yet. We embrace the full, stain of DEI. Didn't earn it. We're just going to keep going with that. And this is something which they've done in an SEC filing. They've revealed it. They've admitted to tying bonuses to race and sex-based factors. So if you were born with a vagine, then I guess some more moolah, perhaps. If you were born with, a slightly darker shade of skin, well, more moolah, perhaps. It's just this is total retardation of the highest order. It's ridiculous. And then they've also decided to list diversity as a skill. Yeah. Wow. It is as dumb as it sounds.
I mean, it's true discrimination, isn't it? There's no other word. It's discrimination.
Absolutely. Sexism, racism, through and through.
Let's fight discrimination, which barely existed anyway, with a massive new layer of discrimination. Mental bastards. We did a segment on this on Lotus Eaters earlier in the week, or at the end of last week. I can't remember now. And loads of companies are just sort of see the way the winds are blowing and are either getting rid of their DEI departments or at least scaling them down or renaming them or doing something or other. But there's one or two holdouts that were just explicitly, no, we're sticking with DEI to the end. And one of them was one of them was Disney, one of them was Costco. But yeah, so yeah, there'll be a few companies that are controlled by ideologues. Wokist ideologues that are going to die hard, and seems like Disney are just all in, doesn't it? So
massively.
Let's just hope Gina Carano and Uncle Elon can rip them a new one. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I think that is this year, isn't it? It's in spring this year. I think that's happening.
Yeah.
That will be interesting.
I think, Bo, to your point, I think that the Costco are going to respond. Because there are 19 states attorneys general that have written them a letter saying we will be coming after you.
Oh, okay.
So that was a recent development as of last night. You probably didn't see it there.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. All right.
Yeah. Right. So if I'll look to see if I can find it for you.
Because apparently Costco put it before their shareholders. It wasn't just some sort of nameless.
Who's the largest shareholder there?
I've got no idea. Sorry, I don't know about.
Oh, my guess would be either BlackRock or Vanguard.
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say with respect to Disney. So the holdouts in all of this will be those associated with Larry Fink. That's what I would imagine. That is what I would imagine, because they can offset. I mean, they're all about stakeholder capital rather than shareholders. That's what they're about. So, culture, jump in on this if I sort of miss it out, because I have a rudimentary knowledge of this, so just do chime in. But it says this in its recent annual filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, so the SEC. The Walt Disney Company showcased unwavering commitment to its controversial DEI agenda. It says, while companies like Amazon, Walmart, Boeing, yeah, bloody hell, they better have done that. And Ford are moving away from such initiative amidst growing national scrutiny. Disney is doing the opposite, proudly incorporating DEI into its board selection process and executive bonuses. Go on.
One note with Boeing, they just got their recent ratings, I believe either Moody's or Fitch, and they are basically being recommended at junk box status, junk bonds, or they're very one step above
Amazing.
junk bond. They've lost so much money in the most recent quarterly. It tells you exactly, shows you in black and white what DEI
people were worried about safety, because they just kept hiring people that weren't right for the job. Like the safety was going down. It's just
crashing planes falling apart in midair. Not great.
No. So strikingly, Disney made no public announcement or press release accompanying the filing this year, raising eyebrows and questions about whether the company is trying to downplay the DEI focus, because they normally announce it. They proudly announce it and they put it on their website. They're like, yeah, we filed our SEC. Go have a look, guys. We've done it. But they're like, no, literally no announcement at all, which is the weird. Obviously, I mean, it's not weird, obviously, when you look at what they've reported, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, again, it's one of those things. It's a clear admission. It's an admission through omission. So Disney lists diversity as a skill and valid experience. So Disney's SEC filing emphasizes the diversity of its board of directors. Not that it matters, like clearly doesn't matter. Boasting that 50% of its members are considered diverse, with 40% non-male. Hopefully that just means women, but obviously not in this regard. And 30% non-white. So it's clear from this filing that Disney considers anyone who isn't a white man to be diverse, right? And here you can have it here. Just says, diversity, 30-40, gender, race, ethnicity. It's like, what relevancy does this have? Like to anything? Like obviously nothing. It's pathetic. You think like experience, we've got great experience, guys. Our boards are full of fantastic people that have, raised companies up from the dirt. They're amazing. No, they've got a ding-a-ling between their legs and they've got tits up high, I guess. Like this is just pathetic. Yeah. It's absolute nonsense.
Yeah, how good are you at managing budgets and delegating work and project management? Don't care how much melanin have you got in your skin and what's your genitalia. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird because it's like 70% of the NBA is all black guys. Is anybody complaining about it? Are we like, no, we need more white people in there to equal it out. We need to give them a fair share. Give them a chance.
To that end, Nick, perhaps we should sue the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's because diversity is explicit, in its agenda. It is just less white men. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's shorthand for anti-whiteism. It's simply shorthand for that, isn't it? Let's all be honest.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. That's all it is. So the filing doesn't stop at celebrating the board's demographics. It shockingly lists diversity itself as a skill and leadership qualification, grouping it with legitimate credentials like finance, cybersecurity, and strategic transformation. So diversity is quite literally a skill.
But not diversity of thought or opinion.
Oh, no, God, no.
Oh,
no. Are you insane?
No, sorry.
Me.
No.
Don't even suggest such a thing.
Yeah. Just race and sex only.
We must toe the party line here. So obviously, and it says this, under the section titled Corporate Governance and Board Matters, Disney explicitly states that board members are evaluated based on how well they reflect the diversity of the company's shareholders, employees, customers, guests, and the communities in which it operates. So in other words,
Not the best
pure
person for the
identity
job.
politics.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with professional accomplishments. And that the diversity and the identity politics literally play a role in determining who sits on Disney's board. Which is just incredibly dumb. It says here, this approach may resonate with activists, but it flies in the face of traditional merit-based selection, where qualification, skills, and proven experience, especially, you'd think Disney, one of the biggest companies in the world, that those things should be important. But they're like, no, it doesn't matter. Are you black and do you have a vagina, basically? I mean, that's fine. No wonder it's going downhill, but okay. That's what they're focusing on. I mean, you could be black and have a vagina and have lots of experience, but you should be hired on the experience, not the fact that you're black and have a vagina, obviously. And you can see it here, yeah, literally diversity right there at the bottom, and it's quite small, but it's highlighted. It says diversity. That is skills and experience. Diversity is a skill and experience. It's just it's us. It's.
I mean, you
What'd you
can't
say,
make
like-
this shit up. I mean, this is literally what they're doing. It is insane.
Well, the worst part of this is Bob Iger's bonus is tied to DEI performance. So the most troubling is Disney's admission that its DEI agenda directly impacts the bonuses of its major senior executives, including Bob Iger. Among the 3 other performance factors used to calculate annual bonuses for named executive officers, Disney lists diversity and inclusion, and this is given equal weighting to synergy, storytelling, and creativity, placing DEI on par with actual business performance metrics. Mental. Like actually mental. So Disney's filing explains that diversity and inclusion as an OPF is fostering a culture of respect, increasing diversity in executive ranks, and creating entertainment that reflects a broad spectrum of identities and experiences. Notably, the company highlights multicultural turnout for Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, alongside ESPN's promotion of women's sports, and the Emmy success of Shogun, a series lauded for its Japanese cast and dialogue. Well, actually, Shogun was lauded because it wasn't diverse, because it was historically accurate, because it was just Japanese people.
And it was well written. It was well written.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It
was an excellent show.
Jesus.
They didn't focus on needless crap to put into it. It was just a fantastic show. So there you go. I mean, I think that sort of covers it all, really. I mean, it's just insane. It's nonsense. People didn't go and watch Deadpool and Wolverine from all different cultures because, there was gay race communism in it. It was because it was predicated on nostalgia for the Fox X-Men universe. That's why people went to watch it. I don't know. This is just drivel. It's insane. It's actually insane. But not a surprise when you see how bad Disney is doing, with their box offices. Again, minus Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2, but they're outliers because they didn't focus on any of this stuff. So there you go. Did I miss anything, Culture, or was that about it?
In no way. And here's the problem. There are probably at least 11 or 12 violations in there, not just of employment law, but also on things that the Supreme Court ruled on just last year. And at a corporate level, this can be punished by many different administrative levels. You've got the Federal Trade Commission can get involved. The SEC can get involved. The obviously the Department of Justice can get involved in this. There are multiple levels of things that could come from that. I'm going to tell you, the fact that they have these goals clearly stated and have had, it wouldn't take much. Just show everybody the Reimagine Tomorrow stuff. Disney should be the first one to be taken to the woodshed and spanked so hard financially by the law, and demanded to pay hundreds, if not a billion, 2, 3, 10. Their financial punishment has to be so hefty that no other corporation would ever consider doing this, either now or ever again in the future.
Yeah.
Because
And
a violation, because these are civil, these are more than that. These are civil rights violations,
Mhm.
technically.
Massively against the law. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's absurd.
So like I said, there are many different ways to go about this. Also, since the McKinsey study has been widely exposed as a fraud by multiple studies now, and they've actually expressed that they really weren't able to replicate their own results. Not only should McKinsey be investigated from the ground up and through their Titan Curlies, they should anybody who has continued to keep this in place despite it being widely discredited, including the financial institutions themselves, and the likes of which Larry Fink at BlackRock, Blackstone, other places, Vanguard. Anybody who has anything left of this, or any trace of Bridge, or any of the other things that they're going to try to change this name to, DEI, ESG at a corporate level, etc., they need to be fiscally punished in a way that nobody ever does it again. And if anybody has it in place, they literally will basically be carving out one of their own corporate kidneys in order to satisfy the government and the people. They've just this is bigger than this. You know, there are companies that are signed on with DEI that were favoring hiring illegal people here in the States.
yeah,
They favored illegals.
Just real
For
real
cheap
quick.
labor.
Chaos is fun. Did actually super chat something very, very similar. So he said, could Trump instruct the DOJ to
Yes.
file against Disney for violation
Yes.
of the 64 Civil Rights Act, which, if I remember rightly, doesn't recognize commies as people? So double whammy against Disney.
Yeah. I mean, and
It
again,
could,
I mean,
yeah.
the level of neo-Marxism throughout Disney would surprise you. You know, and there's a reason why all my friends left Disney.
Surprise me.
I don't know. I mean, they're completely compromised. They basically have an HR department that's full of DEI, and they have a separate DEI corporate level officer with plus obviously the HR garbage that's there too. I'm telling you, Reimagine Tomorrow could be Disney's undoing. And I tell you what, despite my lifetime investment in Disney up until recently, I would like to see them punished in a way that again, they are the example. We need an example. Disney would be a good one from the DOJ down. And in fact, the DOJ should go at two. They should go at Disney and they should go at Vanguard. Because if you take the legs out from under Larry Fink and you put him in a position to be put in jail, nobody will ever do this again.
Yeah.
That would be
amazing. And again, it gets rid of that Carl Strauss ass hat at the WEF or whatever the frick his name is anymore.
Klaus Schwab,
that's his name. Sorry, I get him mixed up with Karl Marx, and I apologize.
At this point, the world, the United States and the world would be better off if the Disney Corporation simply did not exist. It's in my opinion, it's absolutely a net negative. Well, every now and again they come out with a film or something that is kind of okay, that some little kids might like or whatever. Okay, yeah, balance that against all the subversion that they peddle, all the crimes that they are objectively guilty of. Yeah, no, Disney can be annihilated as far as I'm concerned.
They're headed towards self-annihilation. I tell you what, they've got enough scrutiny on them right now. They've committed some very criminal acts, and did several criminal acts in the state of Florida. I think the DOJ plus Florida's Department of Justice working together could bring Disney to their knees financially, because they committed financial fraud through the entirety of their operation of the Reedy Creek district, just in Florida alone. So anyway,
any further thoughts, Bo, Nick?
Don't forget, this is a cancer to these companies, and I don't even know if they even realize it, because it ends up destroying the very products that they're trying to push out to people. Let's not forget, and I shared my screen, the Disney Lucasfilm story group here with all of its diversity, which has done a great and superb job with Star Wars. So let's not forget that big, huge diversity hire, and everybody else in that company who has just done top-notch, grade A work for Star Wars. That's why it's in the toilet, and that's why Marvel's in the toilet. It is a joke, and the faster these companies get rid of this nonsense, the better off they'll be.
Kathleen said that the Force is feminine, though, didn't she?
Yeah, the Force is female. Yeah.
Force is female. Sorry.
Yeah,
right,
which
yeah,
she tried spinning, saying, "Oh, that was some sort of Nike thing," you know. And oh, shut up! Nobody's buying your crap.
Ridiculous. What do we think? Do we think? I don't reckon they'll. They'll sort of cave to pressure. I think they'll keep going. I think a company like Disney has to suffer consequences to change, because they are ideologues through and through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought. I would have thought that people like Iger and his ultimate handlers, his paymasters, however you want to say it, they'll ride it to the end, because if nothing else, they'll be happy that a great American iconic institution like Disney is destroyed at the end of it, right? Like in Goodfellas, when they make a restaurant or a bar or something come in with them, and then when they've rinsed that bar for all the money they can, then they burn it down. They don't care. Then they burn it down and walk away.
Yeah, they go. Well, yeah, Bob
this is
Iger
what Iger and Fink are happy to do with Disney. I would have thought.
Yeah, agreed. Well, there you go. We will move on now. We've got